It is my honor, amazing, to introduce one of the smartest black men on this side of heaven. And this black man, what? Is running to represent Louisiana's 2nd Congressional District in the U.S. House. His name is Claston Bernard. And Claston Bernard was born in St. Elizabeth, Jamaica. He is a 2-time Olympian. He is a Christian, campaigning on being a Christian. Oh, campaigning on being a Christian. And the family is one of the main points in his campaign. Christianity and the family. We got to bring Christianity back. America is a Judeo-Christian country, and because the Christians are not real Christians, we're losing the country. We got to return to the Father. Claston Bernard is one of the men that will make that happen. And I am blessed to be talking to him today. Claston, welcome to the show.
Jesse, as always, man, thank you. You've been at it, and you continue to fight, and you continue to inspire. So it is my time to take up that mantle and to bring that fire.
And thank you. And I'm so glad that you're running, because we need millennials, young people like you, to run for office. We got to take back the government, police department, mayors, and city councils. Christians should be running the government. Otherwise, the children of the lie make laws that goes against Christians and families and the good aspect of life. What made you decide to run? Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you. It's the right thing to do. I mean, you outline it is about the family. The family was the first institution, is the first institution created by God. You know, the government is downstream the family. And what we have is the people in the government trying to rearrange God's order.
Yeah.
And we have to take that power back from them. You know, the family is disintegrating. The black community, the Hispanic community, and the white community are being destroyed. And we have to go back to the focus of what the government was designed to do in a limited capacity, just be there to assess, not to become God, not to rearrange, not to recreate, not to recreate what is right or what is wrong.
That's amazing. Have Nick get the phone for me today. And so how is the campaign going so far?
I'm enjoying the campaign. You know, it's good getting out there. It's good getting into New Orleans and Baton Rouge and Donaldsonville and letting the blacks who vote Democrat know that you have another option. And I'm speaking to, you know, when we look at the numbers, 40% of blacks consider themselves conservative. So there are more black conservatives than actually liberals. There's other 30% that's in the middle. I'm speaking to those blacks, and I'm saying the strength of black America has always been God, family, and education. It hasn't been liberalism as we're knowing it. And go ahead.
Normally, black, not all. And I think it's starting to change. Blacks tend to go with the Democrats. I know you are a conservative. Have you been a conservative all your life?
I have been, but I was a Democrat at one point.
Oh, you were a Democrat. And
yes.
Why were you a Democrat at one time?
Because I thought my conservative ideals could fit in. But the more I questioned issues dealing with the family, the harder it became. And Joe Biden just made it crystal clear. Their goal was to rearrange the family. I can't agree with that kind of platform.
Yeah.
What they were proposing back in 2012 and 2013, that was it for me. I was like, I can't do this.
Amazing. And so how are the blacks in Louisiana receiving your message as a conservative so far?
Well, you know, the thing is, I see them as people. I don't approach them as a Republican or Democrat. I understand the history, the way that blacks have voted. But I'll tell you what I found out is that the Republican, they do a lot of lip service, but they don't get in these areas.
Yeah.
So they leave these areas to the Democrats and then criticize the Democrats for running these areas into the ground. When we're talking to people, I allow them to just talk. You realize they're very conservative. And I said, well, these are what you're supposed to be voting on. Vote values. not color, not tribalistic, are based on political party. So the issue right now is to get the message out to enough people to say you have a legit choice. Because if you destroy the family, if you continue to take the man out of the household, we're going to have problems. If you continue to allow government to control the public education system, we're going to have problems. In fact, I'm about almost for privatizing the whole public educational system.
Yeah.
Put the power in the hands of the parents and the teachers to make the right decisions, not the unions, not the school boards. Because inner city black youth are struggling, man. They're in bad shape because the people, no matter how good their intentions are, their goal is to make sure they can make money.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that, man. I'm glad to hear that because the public school system is screwed up.
Yes.
In Los Angeles, they haven't opened the schools back up yet, and the public schools here. And I'm glad they haven't because all they're doing is brainwashing the children. They're turning them away from God. They're turning them away from their parents. They are pushing LGBTQ mess, abortion, everything but God, everything but family, everything but good. So I hope the schools don't open back up, that the parents will be, that they're forced to either homeschool their children or put them in a good private school or Christian school.
Yes. You know, what I'm finding out on the ground, man, is that the blacks are receptive to the conservative values. A lot of them are. Now, what is it? The leadership is a whole different scenario because the leadership that they've had in place, it hasn't worked.
Yeah.
My congressional district is the 4th worst congressional district in the country. I have one of the 2nd worst cities in this country to live in, but yet still, someone is getting elevated. They're promoting failure to the White House from my congressional district, not because this person is deserving, but because they think it's a safe Democratic Party district. So they're doing the black people a disservice.
Yeah.
And that is wrong on all levels.
You know, you're right in that the Republicans have not gone into the black communities and campaign and take questions and let the blacks find out that the Republicans are not against them. It's not a party of rich white men who want to put them back in slavery and all that crap. And I remember when Bill Clinton first ran, Bill Clinton did that. He went into the black community, into the churches and everywhere. I'm like, the Republicans need to do the same thing. They need to have town halls in the black community and let the blacks find out for themselves what the Republican Party is all about. And I'm glad that you're doing that. What other things that you're on your platform that you would, like crime and all that, what will you do about the crime in that area?
Well, the thing about crime is, again, I put it back on the family. The more stable the family is, the less contact you will have with the police. You know, we're talking about defunding the police, but defunding the police hurt black people.
Yeah.
And even based on statistics, it's probably only 3% of the black community who are criminal, but they hold the rest of the black community hostage. So we have to have effective policing to deal with that. But the reality is, if you have a home that is intact, then you're less likely to deal with the police. So if you have a man doing what he's supposed to do and raising his family like he's supposed to, then you take the element out. The more laws you have, the more freedom, your freedom is restricted. So the goal is to get the family where the family is solid, the family is stable, and the family is able to operate the way God wants it to operate.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get social services, you get the public education, you get the systems that are looking to profit from it, and they're looking to make something long-term and permanent. And one of the things I said recently on Laura Ingram's show was, frankly, the government just need to leave black people alone. The playing field has been leveled. Allow them the opportunity to learn about who they are. Stop trying to do for them. And Booker T said it, Frederick Douglass said it, Malcolm X said it, many people said, leave black people alone.
Yeah.
Level the playing field, let them figure themselves out, because they did it during slavery, they did it during Jim Crow. Why are we where we are today? Because the government got involved.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a major point, is that they will not leave the blacks alone because they want to control them by feeding them free housing, free governmental program, free education, free everything, because the Democrats want to keep them on the plantation of the Democratic Party, so they will not set them free. The blacks are going to have to wake up, and I'm glad you're there with that kind of message. What else we need to know about you that I already know, but the people don't know? Your family and all that.
I'm a fighter. I'm a fighter, and for me, America is my dream. I'm living the American dream.
Yeah.
I've been welcomed in the fold that it says if you're born or naturalized here, you're an American. And based on the things I've been exposed to and the things I've been able to experience, I want my country to experience that and not to be locked off because someone has some political agenda. I'm here to fight for them. I'm here to stand with them. That's why I'm going to the heart of the Black community. I want to hear them. I've seen them. I've worked in these areas, but I want them to know I am a viable option. You can vote for a conservative. You can vote for a guy with an R behind his name because we're revolutionary. We are reformers and we're trying to restore. So that's what that R means. You can say Ryan or Republican, but for me, it is a revolution.
Yeah.
It is a restoration and it's reformation. That's what we have to do in the Black community, especially in my congressional district, which is almost over 60% Black. That's the way to move out.
Yeah.
So I'm here to champion their cause because, and I say this often, I became a champion at LSU. I became an Olympian at LSU. I became a gold medalist at LSU. And that was with the resources that are in Louisiana. I want to give back to them. I want to go to Washington and champion them. So, for me.
So you were a 2-time Olympian, right?
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And and you also have a book. Tell the folks about your book and how they can get it.
I have 3 books, but my first book is called Outcast, No Room at the Table for Conservative Blacks in Black America. And that book really deals with the heart of the issue. When I first came here as an immigrant, I was told a lot of things that were being revised, revisionist history. And I enjoy American history. I enjoy, Black history is American history. You can't separate it.
Right.
It is what it is. So when you start studying it, you start seeing that there was a theme. The theme for the Pilgrims coming here was God, family, hard work, and education. That's what got them to got us to 1776 to form this great nation. Now, we had slavery, which was an old world system. It wasn't an American system, but America is the country that ended slavery. The British Empire started attacking it, but America was the country that really epitomizes what freedom is and what we still know it to be today. So America was the death knell of slavery. But for the Pilgrim, they held dearly to God, family, education, and hard work. In the American Revolution, which the British considered a Christian uprising, they said it was a Christian uprising because the patriots wanted to be free. It was God. It was the pulpit that played a great role into where they are. In Black America, they only had God and family and the little scraps of education they could get to hold on to. And Outcast, when I wrote Outcast, I wanted to highlight what the strength of Black America is, as well as America. And it all ties in, whether it's for the whites, whether it's for the blacks, whether it's for anybody else coming in. The ties that bind is holding dear to those values, because those values are where the principles of freedom sits. Yeah. And if we move away from that, we're going to destroy. So when they're trying to tribalize us racially, even though racial politics was introduced during slavery, it was not the primary goal of slavery. Slavery was an economic system. And with racializing current situation, you miss what socialism is about. And socialism is not about color. It's about destruction. It's about enslaving the masses. So Outcast was showing that the church is the strength of Black America. The church is the strength of America. And you have to go back to it, because the values and principles of freedom, whether it's education, whether it's family, they're all enshrined in the U.S. Constitution. Amazing. And that's what we have to hold on to as American. So that's what Outcast is about. And for the record, you're married with 2 children, right? Yes. That's amazing. And how old are your kids? My daughters are 8 and 3. That's amazing. How can first of all, when is the election there? Right now, we're doing early voting. Early voting ends on the 13th. Election day is March 20th. You can find me at bernardforcongress.com, bernardforcongress.com. And I'll say it again, bernardforcongress.com. I need your support. I need donation. We need to get the word out there. Yeah. We need to be able to tell people you have an option. And I can say this coming from a country like Jamaica. When people vote for one political party, you tend to remain poor. Yeah. Your vote is your economy. Vote based on your values, but your vote is your economy, and people should be able to work for your vote. So go to bernardforcongress.com, share my message, donate, and help change the trajectory right now of Louisiana. That's amazing.
Claston Bernard. And what's your website again?
BernardForCongress.com.
Amazing. Well, man, I wish you well. And whatever we can do to help you, we're definitely going to do it. We're behind you all the way. I'm glad to see young people getting involved, and especially those who love God with all their heart, soul, and might, love the order of the family and treat their neighbor as himself, and love America. So we're fortunate that you're running, and I wish you well.
I thank you very much, Jesse. Thank you, man, for having me on.
You're welcome. We'll have you back.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you. Amazing. Claston Bernard, folks. Check him out. Help out. Help him out. We got to get young folks in there who are on the side of good. All right? Amazing. Y'all got to get involved. Wake up. Get involved. And don't let anyone tell you that Christians should not be a part of the government. That's so dumb. That's like so dumb. It's so dumb. I don't even know how anyone would believe it. Amazing. And don't forget to like, follow, tweet, subscribe, and share the Jesse Lee Peterson radio show, folks. We really appreciate it. We are at war. It is a spiritual battle for the soul of America. And it's going to take all of us to do it.